Kia ora koutou katoa. Welcome to my YouTube channel and or my Facebook page if you've come across this on Facebook. So I'm Lesley Ormsby. I'm a psychic medium, healer, teacher of spiritual and mystical things and so much more. And this is part of the so much more. So anyway, I just want to say thank you to everybody for those likes, comments, shares, and for subscribing to my YouTube channel. So I'm going to take this opportunity now to invite you to subscribe to this channel, my channel now, or at the end of the video. The other thing is, I do encourage following my me on my Facebook page too, as there's different content that is going up there and up on that social media platform. And also as I'm like zhuzhing things up, changing things around, my schedule is shifting, so these readings may be a little bit more, they're not going to be on to schedule as I have in the description box below. So they will still be weekly. There are a whole lot of different factors that are coming in at the moment. With the way my energy is shifting, as with yours, there's a lot of growing, expanding, and moving into slightly different things, and there's kind of like basically a growth period, which means I have to adapt to my schedule again. So, and it's becoming, as well as it's like, in a way, there I feel like this kind of may resonate with you too. Cancer. Sorry, I didn't actually say who this is for. Cancer at the beginning. So, Cancer. So, as your schedule is shifting, so are your. For some of you, it's like priorities with some things, and it's like it's not necessarily that it's not a priority, but it's like there are things that it's one of the priorities. That's what it is. It's not the one, not top priority, but it's one of 3 or 4 that needs to be done, or is or can be. I'm saying that can be shuffled around, but in order to. So there's a certain amount of versatility in there. It's just in the sense that it will that it will happen, but it's maybe not in the timeline where you originally wanted it to happen. So there's a couple of things I'm hearing, or some of them are top priority, yes. However, it's not, and others are a priority as well, but it's the ones that something that can be shuffled around. There's a little bit of versatility with timing, and it's becoming more evident for you in the sense that there is a shift. Like for instance, they're using my my recent with my work shifting, changing is that in that as well. So part of some of the signs are, and for me, I've noticed is, I don't know, for my Wi-Fi is slowing down heaps, and it's like, so there's a change in the energy definitely, and usually it's pretty quick. So whatever's going on out there in the universe, there's something definitely shifting. So for me, like my Wi-Fi is really super quick, and that hasn't been so. Yesterday I did my videos like pretty early and got them up, then 2 of them came up, the other one has not. So it's still going, and last week Sagittarius wouldn't upload, and it still hasn't. It's still, so it's kind of like I'm taking that as a sign. It's maybe there's nothing for them this week or last week, and maybe they've already or whatever that is, and when that message when it does load up or get to them, it'll be the right time. But however, I feel like for some, there's a shift in some ways, and sometimes where this, and the other side of it, part of this is sometimes things, we need to let go of things, and maybe something isn't quite, panning out in the way that you had hoped it would do. But it's like, okay, there's, and it's kind of, there's something about it not fully letting go of it or allowing it to subside like straight away. This is like a waning away sort of a thing, and you're seeing some signs. For some of you, it will be just literally cut. So it may get to a point where you just got to cut it off now, where you're feeling like you kind of, even though this is kind of like a baby sort of a project, but the Spirit are saying, like, looking around at the bigger picture and having a look around about what was really going on, and maybe it's a test run for something else, and maybe it's an expansion of something else. Okay, letting this expansion come in, and you'll start to. And that's why I say sometimes it's not like waning, it's not maybe going right away, it's going with the flow of whatever is presenting to you, and not like overthinking it or judging it or yourself or whatever. There's something bigger in there. So it may be that you are studying yourself and how you're responding to it. So I know, so for me, so it may be for you too, and for that to come up and then talk about that right now. So there may be something going on like that for you, in some area of your life. Okay, so just a reminder that these messages that come through with these reads are general, so they may or may not resonate with you. Okay, so this is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and or Venus. If Cancer is in your chart. The other thing, and so I do, encourage checking out one of your other signs, and just seeing what comes up for you, because it may give you a more comprehensive overview of what is going on for you, for the gaps that you're not quite getting, and so if you don't know, check out when you start. If you don't know what your other signs are, there is a link in the description box below that will take you to a website, there is a free calculator on there that will work it out for you. Okay. So today, this week, there's been a little bit of a change in here. So where are we going, Spirit? Where are we going? Cancer with where are we going with Cancer? Spirit. Oh, no. Okay. So there may be a little bit of a hibernation period, or a time that you may have tucked yourself away. So it's starting to, like, I feel like it's, and you've been slowly coming out, if I'm, like they're showing me from, in the last couple of weeks and month, and that there's something about slowly coming out. And because we have this new moon, we're still in the new moon energy, actually, and we've had this new moon energy. It's like there is something, it's timing to come out and take some action, and towards some of these new steps, and how like you're looking at things nowadays is, not completely different, but there's definitely an added essence of something else that's there, that's helped you to shift into your understanding, your knowing, your faith, and your faith and trust about certain things in your life. So it's about taking action. Okay, so anyway, the first card that's come out with so I'm using my Starman Tarot deck as well as the Energy Oracle cards deck, so which is that one, and my trusty other tarot deck with Juliet Sharman-Burke deck. So yeah, so anyway, the Ace of Wands is the first one to come out. And there's something about, an outburst of creativity. So, something, maybe a new idea, or I feel like this, for me, I'm just really feeling like that's an outburst of energy, basically, as well as, some, ideas that you may have, that may have been popping up. So it's like, I feel like, so some of you can now put them into action. And some of you, it is literally just getting yourself back into action. So, and with this new moon, it's like this energy, so is like your motivation is like because you've maybe figured something out, or had an epiphany, or just an energy charge. And usually we've processed something, and it's like, and we've come to a completion of something, an understanding, and that knowledge and that wisdom is kind of like locked in a bit more, so we're taking it into the next phase. But there is some sort of a new beginning in that sense. So there's a motivational passion, there's a motivation energy that's coming with there, and moving and knowing what your life purpose may be a little bit more, or one of your purposes in this life is about a bit more. So in bringing that together, and and for the work that you do, whether it be this sort of work or something similar, maybe not so spiritual, but not so much in a spiritual way, like I'm doing it, but maybe in another way, how you're helping people, which is, there's a spiritual element anyway. So but it's like, so there's something different in the work that you do. So whether you're an accountant or a lawyer or a doctor or a mail sorter or somebody who works at the checkout in the supermarket, or somebody that works at the service station, whatever, there's a learning that we can take from whatever position that we're in. It's how we hold ourselves as well, and and what information we're learning we're going to get from that about ourselves, as well as observation, not just about ourselves, but people around us, and and the energy around us. So anyway, there's something, it's like there's it's like your motivation is being sparked again. That's where I'm getting from this one. Okay, so there's something in the past that has got you, that's moving, that you've been processing, that's moved you forward. So bringing you now into the present, which is like the Fool. And so there's something about taking a leap of faith, and it's like, okay, yes, there may be, there's the dog, giving a little bit of a warning sign there, and and just like looking up at him, trying to catch his eye, like, look where you're walking, sort of thing. But there's a sense of, he's got everything packed up, and there's that sack over his shoulder. But I'm drawn to the butterfly too. So there's a sense of freedom, in the sense that you've you've come to the conclusion about something, basically, and you're ready to take a step forward, whatever comes your way, basically, because you know what, you can handle it, and whatever we're doing, there's it's not always a straight and narrow path, as it's and not everything's going to be like a bunch of roses all the way through it, maybe for a good portion of it, and it also depends on how you view that, because where your mindset is at, because some of that, like negative stuff can be, or that stuff that, that like kind of holds you up, and like, and it's kind of frustrating at times, is in a way that bunch of roses, or that leads you to a bunch of roses. So it's kind of, you bring it back, just look at it like a bunch of roses in a way, and you could get through this, okay? You can sort it out, and this is what it's about, taking a new step into something else, or something, the next, into this phase of life where you're going to now. Beautiful. And then we have, the Strength card there. So it's like there's, having that courage and strength, and, even though that you can overcome whatever it is that's coming your way, or whatever, that does come your way. So, or what you walk into as well. So it's kind of like there's a beautiful energy there. And so, wow, some powerful stuff is that, that you're moving through, that you've moved through, and that you're continuing with your learning, and or just empowering stuff that's moving through. So that's awesome. So I'm just gonna see what comes through here. What else have we got from Cancer? So moving into the future. Okay, so once again, there's that inner strength, and the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is about inner strength. So it's like you've you've worked on yourself, you know where you're going, it's pulling all that inner strength in there, because I kind of see that as putting up some boundaries as well, but I feel like the boundaries are not necessarily a negative thing as such. Some people would see that, but it's boundaries because I'm feeling like I'm saying for some of you, it's like energy coming through, and boundaries with your emotions, and not getting too caught up. So it's like taking one hat off as you go into, and putting taking that hat off in one situation, like say with at work, when you're going home, it's like you're putting on your home hat, okay? But as you work through this transformation, this transitional space, and this is, it's still maybe going to take some inner strength, going inward and pulling out, and knowing, and that trust and that faith is what I'm hearing with that. So the Nine of Wands, it's like, you're picking up your stuff, you're moving through it. You know, because it's like you have more confidence there. Something is coming to an end, because the 9 for me is always a completion of the cycle. And you've got the Ace of Wands here, so that was in the past. You know, it's not brought you into this future, this present, and going into the future. So the 9 is there. You've got the, you know, how cool is that? The 9 is there, so it is coming into some sort of completion of a cycle there, or a phase. And moving into the transitional phase. So that's pretty cool. And for some of you, I feel like there is that feeling like that inner strength is like, this is, because I'm seeing those in the back there is like breaking down boundaries and through barriers as well. So it's like, in that sense as well. Wow. And moving into the new. So, yeah. So there's something, yeah, in that, because it's like, yeah, and you've done the work to in working through that. So awesome. Oh gosh. So hang on, I'm going to take those 3, 4. So moving into where you are now, you. So there's something about the Tower. The Tower is, you know, there's something breaking down with you, and breaking down, breaking away, falling away from you, a way of being, you know, because it's like what you thought in the past. It's like there's a relearning or unlearning of something old that's coming through. That's when and you're learning new things as well. And it's not like the old is, you know, the old, yes, it doesn't serve you any purpose for your highest good right now, in the sense that you're carrying it physically, or you're stuck in that, and that's the path that you're going to be stuck, you know, can continue with. But that's falling away, because now you have all this knowledge and this wisdom that's coming through, moving into this new beginning, you know, like in this present moment. But there's that inner strength coming through, and this is where they're telling you, like, even though there are things that you're having to let go of, an old way of, you know, there's something awakening in, you know, waking up within you and coming out with. They're showing me like a volcano as well, and it's just, and all this other stuff is like coming out. But the lightning there is interesting, and the water, there's you know, there's an amazing cleansing that's coming through there for you. And then we have the 6 of sword cords. Okay, so there may be something about cutting cords or something like that, because I'm just hearing, yeah, a move away from strife with the 6 of Swords. So that's kind of like says it all, doesn't it? Look, and there you are, moving away, and there's some support people there with you as well, helping you move through that, shift through that. So it's not like you're doing this on your own. So then we have the 10 of Pentacles. Wow. So the move away from strife is like there's maybe some things that are going on in your head as well. Not just physical, but there's, because I'm seeing this as a physical move as well as a that, you know, thinking thoughts that are moved, like, you know, and some emotional stuff as well. But, you know, maybe some of the thoughts in your head are moving away, shifting, and you're shifting them into this positive side of things, like with, or more forward thinking, and also bringing that information in, like with what you've been going through in this recent past, but also the distant past. Is, you know, it's like it's starting to more come together, because it's, you know, when we experience things, it's kind of it sheds a greater light, or a greater like depth of light and knowledge and wisdom into it brings that into our lives anyway, and we're understanding more. And so with the 10 of Pentacles, there is definitely some sort of transition, and it's like this is one is about the passing of positive traditions, and, you know, and it's not just about the money side of things, but there is that too. So there may be something to do with finances and money with that's going on in your head at the moment, with the 6 of Swords and the Tower thing, with the Pentacles coming out. But I kind of feel this is not only that, but it's this is about grounding yourself in your family. And that something is, whatever something this processing is, it's coming together for you, and you're seeing a little bit more light, and how family works, and how how you fit into it more, it's all these different things about your contribution to the family within yourself and without of yourself, whether it's your immediate family that you have spawn of your own, or that's siblings, the siblings, that family, and the wider family again, the whānau area. But there's definitely something that are coming together in a realization, and it's, something is becoming more conclusive for you is the word that I'm hearing there, and more being more bind in a way. Okay. And that's, you know, and I'm just hearing too, because I'm looking at the Pentacles, so there's some sort of transitioning coming with you, and, you know, with your family stuff coming together, bringing everybody together in a different, you know, and more, there's just so much love in there and so much energy, so much abundance, but also the prosperity is coming as well, is there as well. It's within you. I feel like it's just like, you know, taking that next step. And then that's the, you know, and that's that transitioning. And with all this knowledge that you are going through right now and have been through, like maybe, you know, in the, you know, from the day you were born, basically, it's coming through. And this latest, and, you know, this year has been up and down for a lot of people, for everybody in some way or form. But anyway, this is something's really super coming together. And I do feel like, yes, because you're an emotional sign. There's the feelings and the intuition, because it's like I'm just being drawn to the emotion and the intuition and the creativity. But this is about like the relationships too. There's something, a tighter bond, you could say, or a sorting out in some ways for some of you. It's like with, you know, with family stuff going, there's a transition going on in there as well. Beautiful. And then the Seven of Pentacles is about, you know, there's a need to decide. So something, you know, may be working for you, like financially. There may be a project or a business, but there may be something else has come up that is, you know, that's new, a new idea that you may be like looking at venturing into. So there may be a need to decide that, or it may be like for where you are going to work from, or, you know, is, you know, changing addresses, or from your business place or your home place. It's kind of like, you know, or traveling overseas for work or whatever. There may be for work, there may be something coming up for you with that. So for some of you, I feel like this may be an extension of what it is already working. So it may be that, not so much put aside, but something else coming out, and you may be thinking about, okay, how's that going to work with what I'm already doing, and is it going to take me away from that stuff, you know, or what is already working. But I do feel like it may kind of, but then it's like there's a transitional where all that stuff there is being brought into this new stuff anyway. Okay. It's because that is I'm hearing like for some of you, that is the foundational side of it. But there is something new coming through, and that may be what your decision is about. Cool. Okay. Let's see. What is in front of them? What may be challenging this process? Okay, cool. Well, that one's come out, so we'll take that one. The Three of Pentacles. So there may be something like, because the Three of Pentacles talks about an initial completion of work. So you may, you know, with this, whatever that's going on, wherever you decide to go. So there's the challenge may be in that you may be like, because there may be like 3 people that you may be working with, or bringing 3 people in, but there may be the 3 is taking, you may be like procrastinating a bit is the word that I'm getting there. So that may be something like getting into that next stage, you know, because this is about an initial completion of work. So it's taking yourself from whatever this decision is in here, where you decide to go, is, you know, and taking these steps. So to, you know, get that initial completion, or that moving, shifting, transporting, transitioning, transporting. Wow, well, that's pretty cool. Transitioning, all those, okay, wow, because it's movement, okay, or change. Now, see, look at this, the Ace of Swords. The old order changes. So there's something in the way that you're thinking is, you know, this is what, you know, the advice is, get out of your head. Stop looking, you know, or suggestion, encouragement is like getting out of your head so you can get this stuff moving, and not letting your thoughts rule you, basically. And but I do feel like, you know, this is, you know, the sword is like cutting yourself free of that which limits you. So it's like you are limitless, basically. Cool. So maybe you go into this funny little space here where you're actually creating boundaries to stop you and into that inner strength in the future is what that is about too. Because I kind of see that as a wall as well, as a wall, as a not going, because it can be a wall of protection, but it's like being mindful of, what is it that you're protecting yourself from as well. But there's some questions going on there, but it's like you'll have the inner strength to move through all that, everything that's going through. It's like, this is maybe you like digging deep again and looking for that passion. Cool. And so, possible outcome, or looking into the future a little bit more. This one here, look at that. So there's something about, the Six of Wands is something about you succeeding, and there's some sort of public acclaiming success, or there's people that, that have been supporters there or followers of you, being supportive of your journey and acknowledging your journey. But this is about you also acknowledging your journey and taking. There's a lot of action cards. So you started off with an action, taking action, and you're finished with a taking action, card. So there's something born out of this where you can hold your head up time. And so it's about acknowledging this, what you've done, where you've been, what you've come through. So this is, to me, is like, for me, it's like there's something, whatever you're doing, people are cheering you on, okay? And I'm hearing like, thank you. People are saying thank you, because this is about you leading the way. Not, it's leading the way for yourself, but also your family as well. That's pretty awesome. Wow. Love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Beautiful. So just to see what comes out of this energy oracle deck for you. And I just want to have a shuffle a couple of times and see what comes out through there. And, okay, that one wants to come out. Okay, thinking man. Number 46. So there may be a man that's around you who is a thinking man, like literally. Number 46. And oh God, there's that one there, appreciation as well. I've just been drawn to that one at the bottom of the deck. So, no, thinking man. Okay. Number 46. Thinking man is 4 is about foundations, basically. In creating that foundation, or in security, which is connected to the root chakra, which is, that join me too. I feel like this is kind of about grounding yourself while you're going through this, and remember to ground yourself. So you may not, it may be feeling a little bit tricky to ground yourself or even lift your vibration, but it's just something, just do it anyway and just trust, because you're going through a space and time and moment that is very, it's a little bit challenging for you, or a lot challenging depending on what you're looking at, how you look at it. 6 is about, being of service to humanity, but it's also, bringing that back to you as well. It's like, or looking, at that human side of you, basically what I'm hearing there. So appreciation. So people, I feel like, are appreciating you, but I feel like this is about you appreciating you as well. So there may be something where you've kind of not really gone there much lately. So it's time to come back into there and just realize, what you do have, who you are, and what you bring to this world, and in there. So that's number 1. So there's a new beginning in that, and a shift in there, and in the sense of a new beginning, but being, I'm hearing for a lot of you, that's like that space of being one with yourself, with self, basically, and feeling that oneness with self. So with the cycle that you're going through, and this, some of you may be feeling that already, okay? And I'm just feeling, because the 6 has come up again, I'm looking at the 1 and the 5 and the 6, and it's drawn me back to being, treating yourself humanely as well. And in the sense that I'm hearing, there may be some some judgment, self-judgment, putting down, all that sort of thing, and going to that self-nurturing side of things. And then we have the Magician and the Mirror. So that's 5 and 3 again. So energy is everything, and, energy is vibrating, is what, everything is energy and vibration. So that's where the 5 is. So realize that, remembering that, you know, what we put out, you know, the energy and our thoughts can help. You know, we think with our guts. Well, yeah. Well, that was interesting. With our, you know, it's one thing to have like an intuition, that gut instinct, and it's learning to discern with that. But often we can think with our emotions, and depending on where our emotions are, it's like, or you know, it can lead us, you know, and if we haven't, just if we're coming from that needy space, or that longing space, or in that impulsive space where that, you know, we're letting our emotions guide us in that sense, it's like, you know, that can be, depending on where, like I say, where your energy is at, where your mind thought is at, may not be a good thing. So it's just being mindful about what your emotions are about, basically. So where they're going with that. So, but putting out, you know, when we're manifesting, is putting that energy of, you know, in a high vibrational sort of way of, you know, energy behind it, a positive thinking behind it, that it is, you know, there. And because if you're going to like go from it, where to go with it in another form, like where your energy is like lowered, like, and it's like, you know, haven't, because of the thoughts that you're running through your mind, lowers our energy, or our gut instinct. It's like, it can be, you know, can be a little bit murky there. So they're just during that there is to be mindful about what we're thinking, okay, what you're thinking, because we feel it, and you know, it's, you know, you know what I mean, you know, it's like our thinking, like it can switch, and energetically be mindful about what you have around you, who you have around you, what lists your soul, what music are you playing, that sort of thing. Play things or do things that lift you, and so you come into that vibrational where your gut is like, you know, just shifting it now, because you would have felt the difference as I was talking then, and it's starting to lift now in my, you know, that, so it's coming from that sort of energy, okay. And then 3 is about balance. So there's definitely something about balancing there with the Magician, looking in the mirror. You are the Magician, okay. And then we have anxiety. So that's where they're talking about with this here, is like shifting that 1 and 8. So there's a new energy in that. And number 18 is, you know, 1 is about, there's a new way of looking at things. So skipping you out of that. And not letting that overcome you, because once again, go back to the solar plexus, shifting your thoughts, looking forward into the future, or being around people that lift you, playing music that lifts you, not drops your energy, okay. Because 8 is about, you know, remembering that we are, you know, we are infinite, our energy, our being, and that there is, you know, it's limited. We're not limited. We're limitless, you know, in everything that we, you know, do, like with our energy. So it's just kind of like, yeah, just being mindful of that, and just help you skip out of that. Cool. So anyway, I'm going to just draw one more card from there. I think I prattled on enough. 2 cards flip out. So, okay. I must win at any cost with the 5 of Swords. So I'm kind of seeing that more as, you know, the kind of swords is like you've gone in your head, which is going back to this infinity thing. So shift your energy with the 5. Definitely saying something there, lifting it up, empowering yourself by doing empowering things, and then, you know, not letting you, yeah, things. So it's like, yeah, I must win at any cost, basically, to get yourself out of it, and out and to bring in the light, bring out the light in that sense. And shifting out, and if you're going into something where there is, because they showed me another side of that of must win at any cost, is you know, it's like, they showed me somebody maybe out there that's like just really going in and not really thinking about what they're doing or what you're doing. It's like, okay, and maybe it'll quite tunnel vision. So it's turning that around into love, and a love-based energy. And if you're going into like kind of like a rah situation, because the 5 is usually about some sort of, you know, disruption, or in that sense is frustration or confusion, and that sort of thing. So it's like, this is I must win at any cost to shift my energy. Okay, then we have the Prince of Swords. So the Prince of Swords is there, and it's like, I live by my ideals, and that's a way to help you move out of it. So, and also going into these outcomes, okay, which is this last card here, like you're shifting out of it. Cool. Anyway, I hope that helps you, Cancer. So I'm going to leave it there. We're going to leave it there. So I just want to say thank you and put it out there and send you lots of love, peace, harmony, joy, excitement, adventure, and prosperity and abundance from myself and my amazing spiritual team, which includes my multi-dimensional guides and helpers as well. Okay, and those, galactic ones as well. So anyway, and also the amazing sign of Cancer. Bye for now. Namaste. We'll see you next week sometime.